Good morning, you beautiful, fantastic people out here in the internets. Oh man, I tell you, today is another Monday. Finally, we get to hear what's going on, Daydream. Marshawn Rogers, what's going on, brother? Today is the day that y'all been waiting for. Today is the day that I get to include some of y'all on this podcast today. You know? Today we're going to talk about submission. I'm going to break down what makes submission a reality for most people. Now, a lot of folk may feel differently, but if you look at it from what I'm going to break it down from, you're going to see that, okay, this guy seems to know what the fuck he's talking about. Seems to know what he's talking about. And the reason why I've picked submission is something, me and my wife was having a discussion about it. And I was like, let me see what can I do about it. So today, I'm going to talk about submission. And then I'm going to leave the line open for y'all to discuss with me what y'all think submission is. And we can go into detail about it. So everybody can learn from everybody. Amen? Alright. So first of all, let me get out my greetings. How y'all doing? This your boy, Mr. High Fives and Good Vibes. I always got a good message to say. I don't like to break down walls or trample on people's personal beliefs and ideologies. All I do is give a definition of the human experience that we all can relate to, no matter where your background is from. Your boy been on this grind. Currently got a YouTube channel, been adding my stuff on there. That's some busy stuff, man. I've been on Apple. I've been on Google Chromecast. Been on Spotify. And I'm just making moves now. I like it. It keeps my head clear. It's therapy. Yeah. It's therapeutic for me. Well, today's objective is to give the breakdown of submission to its smallest part. And once I explain that, no matter what your feelings about it, or whatever definitions you get from it, biblical, non-biblical, spiritual, non-spiritual, you're going to see that those are some correlative stances I'm taking. And this is stances that affect everybody in every relationship whatsoever. So let's get this thing started. All right. Let's define submission. Okay? A lot of people make submission as if it's a weak quality. Hell no! Submission is not weak. True submission isn't anyway. Being submissive takes humility and meekness. And meekness is servile flattery and submission. See, the thing with that is, I understand the humility part. Being humble and being able to see the task at hand and what are you going to do about it, right? Excuse me for the roughness this morning. Your boy woke up like maybe 15 minutes ago. Whoo-wee. I'm going on 100 on E. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going 100 on E. So, when I look at the word meekness and other words with submission, it makes submission seem like docile and weak. And submission is none of that. Submission is none of that at all. People confuse submission with subservience. And folks who don't know what subservience means follow people unquestionably. No, that is not submission. Submission has an end goal. Submission makes you question it. See, in order to understand what true submission is, we have to dig a little deeper. And I'm going to dig, people, and then I'm going to let you chime in. Okay? Let me talk about what true submission is. True submission comes from differential respect. Okay? Let me break down what differential respect is. Differential respect is when you do something or say something or act in a manner out of someone else's wishes and opinions out of respect for that person. Respect. Okay? So I'm telling you now, submission starts with respect. Hey Keisha, when you start submission off with respect, that starts a whole bunch of things. That starts a whole bunch of things, and it goes in a big old direction. Okay? So, what we're going to do today is go into great detail of what respect is. All right? Respect is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something else created by their abilities, qualities, and or achievements. Let me say that again. Respect is a feeling of deep admiration for someone or something created by their abilities, qualities, and achievements. So, if we're submitting something to somebody, rule number one, we have to respect them, which means we have to have a deep admiration or feeling to give them to want to submit. Submission goes like this. It starts with respect, right? The first couple of questions are, do I admire you? What qualities do you have? What do you have that I can admire you and want to follow you? Are you someone that's capable of being liked and respected and well positioned? What have you done to earn my respect? What do you have that makes me want to willfully follow you? That's the main root of all submission. Those questions. What do you have that makes me respect you enough to follow you? What do you possess that makes me encouraged enough to say, hey, I like what you're talking about? See, Monday in again. Whole camera over here trying to fall on me. Monday don't want me to talk about this. Money don't want to talk to me about this because I'm gonna get real. Get real today. What needs to be understood is that what's going on, Travis? What needs to be understood is that if the level of respect is not met, man or woman will not submit. If you're making somebody submit by force, that is not submission. That is subservience. You're making them serve you. And to my men out there who think just because they got a ding-a-ling and the woman is supposed to serve you, they ain't supposed to be doing that. They got to see a quality in you that makes them want to be like, hey, I want to have this man's back. Not because you got a fat wallet and can pay bills, but what do you have that earned my respect for you? What do you have? Hey, Veronica. What do you have that that earns my respect to you? Now, let's even break it down further. Now, there are multiple definitions for submission. But let's break it down to even further. Let's talk about just the word submit. We as people want to submit ourselves to someone we love. Sometimes we want to give people full control. Because sometimes going 100 on the highway, doing it the my way, by the byway, I don't know which way, it gets difficult. And that load becomes totally out of line. And so, when we submit ourselves, we are giving ourselves to somebody. So let me lead into this point. Submission is a gift, not an obligation. There are a lot of good relationships where nobody submits to nobody. There's a mutual partnership. And that works for people. It works. Some people bring 100 and 100 and they mix together and they fulfill whatever role they need to fulfill. But still there's a level of submission in there. Because if they're talking to each other and they're encouraging one another, that means they're filling each other blanks. Meaning that in some type of headspace, in some position, in some spot, they made a choice to say, hey, I want you to take over. I need you to take over. People understand submission, again, in most cases, is a choice. Just because you automatically have something that increases somebody's livelihood, just because you have something like money, a house, a car, a good paying job, that can improve somebody's life, male or female, that does not make it automatic for them to submit to you. You can dangle the cheese in their face all you want to, but that isn't going to make them bow to you so quickly. And you wonder why when you, the breadwinner, and you and your significant other get to so many fights because they're not doing what you tell them to. You've done nothing respectable. You've done nothing to gain that respect, to make them want to give themselves to you. Right? So, what you have to realize, men and women do submission in different ways. And I'm going to rip the men apart a little bit because we have to break the stereotype that submission is just a woman's job. It isn't. Submission is not just a woman's job. It's a man's job too. And I'm going to break it down even further to why men must submit. Amen? I normally do person, places, or things. And what needs to be said is, um, where does submission lie within men and women? Where does it lie within men and women? And the thing about that is, men and women submit themselves differently. Men and women submit themselves differently. There are traits and processes that we both possess that can clear the way for submission to happen. Submission requires respect, admiration, and willingness from both sides to submit to each other. To each other. Like I said, submission goes both ways. Women must be willing to submit to a man that's willing to submit also. Let me say that again. Women and men both have to submit to each other. And it doesn't make you weak. It makes you creative. It creates a new process. It creates new thoughts, new thinking, new levels of consideration, new avenues abound that's going to be beneficial and helpful for the relationship. And what we need to understand is that what we need to understand is that a level of communication is created. A level of ideology is created. And what we must figure out is what can we do to increase the communication and make sure that we don't create such profiles, such bad facets. What can we do to increase the stability of our relationship? You know? And what can we tend to do? You know? And what we have going on here is Stuck on Zero. Welcome to the show this morning. What we're gonna decide here is where does everything lie within men and women in submission? Where does it lie? Where does it sit at? You know, we as individuals, as men and women, got to understand that it ain't easy. It ain't easy at all. So let's go ahead and start this thing. Men, let me start with the men first. Men, I'm going to say it one more time. Men submit by putting our egos under control. Men submit by putting our egos under control. That's what makes it dangerous. We tend to have this pride and not have peace. We must be able to minimize our pride. We must submit ourselves to humility. We must submit ourselves to creating an atmosphere of peace. We must be in touch with our emotions and understand how important communicating those emotions affect our relationship. Most people most people in submissive relationships with each other have an open dialogue with one another. Most people who are in submissive relationships intertwine and connect with each other. Hey, baby girl, I don't know what's going on, but I had to work my magic this morning. I had to keep it moving. Men, we must be willing to listen, not just to respond, but to get a significant picture on the situation. You know, we must be willing to break ourselves away from trying to fix the situation. We always do that. First thing we gotta do, we see the problem, we gotta fix it. Sometimes our problem ain't something that need to be fixed, but something that need to be said to paint a picture, right? Sometimes just understanding what the picture is beneficial and helpful, you know? I mean, sometimes just listening is just enough. Also, you can't give in to simple arguments in situations that don't require our energy. That's where getting in touch with your emotions play. You can't sit up there and get mad because your wife said something extra snarky. No. You can't get upset because something went left and instead of right. No. We must be willing to build a better version of ourselves daily by submitting ourselves to our relationship, which requires us to be better men, open men, and understanding men. Let me say that again. We have to build a better version of ourselves, to be better, to be open, to be understanding. Only then true submission can happen. Only then. And what makes it difficult with men is because we have a set of ideals and feelings that keeps us us. I am the physical being. I am this. I am that. Man, you better break away from that shit. Because that sense of ideology means that you as a man are perfect. No. All men and women are imperfect creatures. Which means we need work. We need to chisel away at ourselves to create something that's beautiful and uplifting. But also shows that we are open to our emotions and understand that some days a hug is all that's needed. Some days we got to remove that rough exterior and show that we can have a little tenderness. Not all the time, but we just got to show that we have it. And that tends to be a problem. But until we can remove those layers and remove and chisel at who we are as a man, we're going to forever believe that I'm the guy, you need to submit to me because I'm the guy. No. It doesn't work like that. Women, on the other hand, have different reasons to submit. And see, most women who properly submit, because in my group on Facebook, there's plenty of women that says, "Oh, it's easy for me to be a submissive woman." It's easy because your experience has taught you who and when to submit, which is beautiful. It's beautiful. That's a level of maturity that a lot of people don't have. Some women have been so hard pressed into being submissive. Instead of submissive, they become a mutual partner. There's nothing wrong with that. When they become a mutual partner, that means you look out for me, I look out for you. But later, submission comes because after a while, she starts to give a little more power here, a little more power here, because they found something respectable, redeemable, admirable about you as the man that she wants to just, okay, well, I can stop doing this. I can stop doing this. I can stop doing this. And next thing you know, you still have the mutual partnership. She still has her feelings or her skill set on file, but yet she doesn't have to use it. Some women have been taught religiously to submit. God says the book of this says this, and by prayer and doing this, yada yada yada. They've been programmed to be submissive. And I'm not trying to say programmed in a bad sense. I'm just saying objectively they've been programmed. And others that have been through so much hell that they don't want to submit to nobody. Hell, they won't even submit themselves to God. They won't even submit themselves to a religion. They won't even submit themselves to prayer. It's just this how bad submission for them could be. Women's submission is purely emotional. And I mean that in the most delicate sense possible. Women react with their emotions to submission because they got to find something worth giving themselves up for somebody. When they do that, they are taking off a shell and becoming vulnerable to you. A lot of women don't want to do that. A lot of women cringe at being vulnerable because they've been vulnerable before and they don't like that shit. And this is where I said submission works in almost every relationship because everybody does it differently. Just because she's not, I'm not worthy. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. If they're not saying that, that does not make them not submissive. It makes them open-minded and trying to make sure that they're doing their part of the relationship that makes it work. Now, like I said, if that's going on, eventually, once she sees something admirable and respectable about you, she's going to start giving you pieces of her in terms of responsibilities, in terms of feelings, in terms of what she sees. And it's us as a man to take it and be like, okay, you see what I see here, or you see what I see here. Because when you are truly submissive with one another, y'all become one freaking creature. It's scary. Me and my wife, we submissive to each other. We don't have that last say ideology, which is, to me, awkward. You know, we both have the final say, and the reason why we both have the final say is because we linked. We one mind. I mean, half the time I sit up there and think something, and she'll say it, and I'd be like, well, God damn it. That's what I'm talking about. Love this shit. Because true submission, when you submit to each other, once my ego has been out the way, and I let her usher herself into me, and now I know how to be the protector, the provider, the things for her she wants me to be. She's going to give me that. And when I'm giving her that, we both going to link. there's a linkage that happens. We're both going to link. And it's going to be phenomenal. That linking up is going to be phenomenal. Also, what makes submission harder for women because of its negative connotation. Man, us men, we fucked up the word submission real bad. Excuse my language, but I'm telling the truth. We messed that bad boy bad. We make submission seem like you better do as I say because I'm a man. In reply to most women, for what? Just because you a man, I gotta just give up everything to you? No. No. Just because you are a man, I have to sit up there and do what you tell me to? I just gotta okay, he's the man. What's up, Regan? How you doing, my brother? Nikki. You have to sit up there and be like, really, bruh? Really? This is how we doing it? We have these alpha males and stuff out there saying this crazy shit. Women are allowed to have freedom to be themselves. God damn it, let them. For real. Women should be able to express themselves without being torn down, especially the black woman. But that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. They really want these women to just blindly follow them. And that's creepy. Why would I want to sit up there and think I have it all together and have this woman following me, and the next you know, we in a shit shoot because of my decision making, and she just stepped back and didn't say nothing. Just followed. After a little while, a little resentment and a little anger come out, and then she starts saying sharp words and you starting to argue more. Woman, why are you arguing with me? Well, what you did was wrong. You went in the wrong direction. Hey, auntie. Hey, auntie. Being submissive is not being subservient. And I need my men out there to realize that shit. Women are not here to just serve. They're here to give. Give. Why are we forcing these women to give? They're not maids. They're not butlers. They're not maids. We're not butlers. We're not having to be forced to give ourselves. We gotta stop doing that. We gotta stop with the ideology that we have to be forced to give somebody something. We have to be willing to follow you unquestionably. No. Out of all my human experiences, curiosity. Thank you. I know. Out of all my human experiences, you got to understand that nobody's gonna follow somebody by force. If I follow you by force, I'm following you out of fear. Out of fear. No, I'm not going to sit up there and follow you out of fear. Why should I be scared to follow you? That isn't respectable. That tells me that you don't possess nothing worth following. But you give me a quick backhand when I question you. Which to me tells me as a man, you don't have your ego under control. You haven't removed your sense of pride. You don't even want to instill an aura of peace. To be able to be submissive enough to your woman to understand her needs so she can understand your needs. Go a little further in detail with the women. To gain a woman's submission, she must respect you enough to submit. Let me say that again. To gain her submission, she must respect you enough to submit. Now, I just told you submission is humility and meekness and da-da-da-da. But you also got to remember, the word submit means to hand over a document or an idea seeking approval. So in order for a woman to submit to you, In order for a woman to submit to you, they must approve themselves to show you that, hey, okay, you are worthy of being submitted to. They have to look at your file and say, let me look at my heart, let me look at my mind, and see if your actions are that file. Your attitude looking in that file. Is it really deemable that you submit this information to me and I approve myself to be submissive to you? I approve myself to let you take over. What are you doing that where I can relinquish a piece of myself to you and let you lead? If you ain't doing nothing, if you're being half-assed about it, why would she want to follow your half-assery? Why would she want to follow you and you have half-assed tendencies? If you submitted to her your ways, your ideas, your feelings, and none of them are redeemable or respectable to her, she does not have to make that move. She could be a mutual partner until that time comes to be worthy of submission. And like I said, mutual partnerships, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with a mutual partnership. There's nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with just you and her 100, and then y'all work into submission. That's fine. That is so fine, you know? And so, when she, what's going on, Destiny, when she sits up there and she's looking at all the data you giving her, and women gonna look through yourself with a fine-tooth comb. Seriously. Not gonna lie. And when she looks through all that, she gets to pick and choose if this man is deemable, worthy of me saying, you got it. Until then, no. She can hold back on her submissiveness. She can. Totally. No problem. You know? Submission takes a lot of self-evaluation. It takes tons of it. You have to evaluate yourself enough and say, do I have qualities that somebody can respect me for? Do I have tendencies that make me deemed respectable? Do I have feelings that can connect with who I'm with? Do I have ideas that can help enhance our relationship? If so, yes. Submission will come easily. Why? Because they see something that's going to be beneficial to them. And then when you submit yourselves to them, you're giving them a piece of yourself too. This is how submission works. What do you have that I admire, men and women, that can work for us? To where I can give you the reins at certain times. I can give you the reins all the time. And if we just start now, I don't have to give you the reins at all. Because submission is a process. It's not like a job interview. Well, it kind of is, but let's put it like this. It's not like a scratch ticket. You just can't instantly win. When you play the lotto, you got to play over and over again. Now, you may have a few that hit the jackpot on the first hit, but 9 times out of 10, submission is an option that if you decide to do it, you must follow through properly. Because it's a choice. Submission is a choice. A lot of people think submission is supposed to be in a relationship. Not at a specific given time. No. I'm gonna name a few things about submission, and then I need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to hop on here and tell me what y'all think about submission. If you feel a certain way that you want to talk, you can give me a thumbs up right now, and when I get through, I'll put you on here, and I'll get to hear your part, and we can talk about it. Because I want to learn if I said anything that was out of line, or if I said anything that had a missing idea or a missing concept that I may have missed out on, hit me up, okay? So we're going to the things portion of my podcast. I do person, places, things. The human experience, where does it take you, and things to do in observance to that behavior. So let's name a few things about submission. True submission is open dialogue, willingness to listen. You know? True submission is willingness to listen. Open dialogue. Willing to talk to each other. Willing to understand each other. True submission is understand that you both can lead. One of y'all has multitudes of strengths, and just as much as you have strength, you have weaknesses. When you are in a relationship, you're supposed to cover each other. You're supposed to cover each other. You're supposed to see, hey, where am I lacking? Okay, that's where she steps in. Where am I lacking? That's where he steps in. Like me and my wife relationship. I am the extrovert. She is the introvert. When it comes to doing extrovert stuff, extrovert shit, baby, you on deck. When it comes to doing introvert shit, from being organized, setting itineraries, set up schedules, oh boy. As much as I would like to learn how to do that, my baby has a precise skill set with that, and when she has a system in place, it is mind-blowing. Let me give you an example. Me and my wife, we both wash clothes. And for some reason, my black ass, when I wash, it takes me 3 to maybe 5 hours to put all the clothes up. And when she washes the clothes and she comes home, she watches a boring movie, and she starts this process, and within an hour and a half of that boring movie, she done watched all the clothes are put up. And it still amazes me to this day after being together 13 years. Like how? How do you sit up there and have this machine-like reflex with these clothes? Jesus. It's a sight to behold. I promise you. I'm recording one day and put it on Facebook. I promise you. That woman can put stuff on hangers. The next thing you know, wait, the clothes was just here like 15 minutes ago. They all gone. Okay. But yet, for me, it takes all day. I got to sort the kids' clothes and all this. I said, nah. And so when it comes to, when I wash, I was like, hey, baby, we can fold them. That's great. Please. And she does it. True submission needs growth. It ain't an overnight process, people. Even if you know how to submit now, 10, 15 years ago, you weren't submitting like you were. You wasn't calling out the feeling that you had. You wasn't creating the standard. Now you've created the standard full of the willingness to submit, and now you're able to fall through on it. It's easier now. Because guess what? You have the experience. You have the understanding of what submission is. True submission isn't manipulation. And I mean that from every statute. True submission Is it manipulation? I'm not going to trick you into following me. I'm not going to beat you into following me. I'm not going to threaten you into following me. I'm not going to put any type of fear or trickery into you following me. Submission is a form of reverence. I see you. I respect you. You have ideals and feelings and emotions that I connect with. So yes, I will give myself to you. And again, I'm speaking for both men and women. Submission is not a woman trait. This is a men and women trait. This is a human trait. Willingness to give yourself to someone and let them influence your life for the better. I don't like to say lead, because in a good, healthy relationship, both of you are leaders. Somebody has a strength somewhere that supersedes the other person. Like, you have some men be like, my woman submits to me, but guess what? You don't know how to pay a bill or balance a checkbook from the back hand in your pocket. But here comes your wife, and next thing you know, you look at the account, every bill is paying, and I still got some money to go hit the slots. That's where submission comes in at. You know, and vice versa. Like, say, for example, the woman may suck at cooking in the kitchen. She may not know how to make a Sunday dinner to save her life. But let that husband come in there and throw down on some collard greens and some yams and some pork chops or something. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. How about you? So let him throw down in that kitchen or something like he just a bad man. Yes. That's submission. This is what I just see what you have, and I'm going to add to what you have. But it takes a process to get there. True submission has a goal that works for everybody. If we are submitting to each other properly, we both know that there's an end game with this shit. For both of us. There's an end game for this for both of us. If I submit myself to you and you submit yourself to me, we become we. We have a goal in mind. And that's what that goal is. That goal is something for everybody in every relationship. To be a better version of ourselves than we were yesterday, today, and tomorrow. If you trying to submit yourself to somebody that has a different goal in mind, of not being better, but being ahead or being a lead, that's a problem. True submission makes you better. True submission is give and take. I'm giving you myself, but I'm taking away what I can get from you to make me a better person. It's reciprocal. True submission is reciprocal. I'm giving and taking and giving and taking and giving and taking. And then the other person is giving and taking and giving and taking. And the next thing you know, you done filled in each other's gaps so much that you really unified. You know, then you start sitting up there and you really starting to think, this person here is the person for me because of what they've done. And what I've done for them and what they've done for me. We have created a combined effort. Last but not least, true submission complements the relationship. It makes the relationship better. It makes the relationship better, a whole lot better. And the reason why it makes it better, because when I sow a seed of greatness into you, and you sow a seed of greatness into me, and we water each other, it does nothing but grow. And like any plant, it bears fruit. So true submission bears fruit. So when we compliment one another, when we fill out each other's blanks, with one another. Do, 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 do. We're sowing and tilling. Do. We're breaking the ground apart on new situations, new ideas, new feelings, new emotions, new things going on. We grilling and tilling, grilling and tilling, grilling and tilling. It makes our relationship strong because guess what? The roots get better. You know, you can tell the strength of a tree by its roots. Am I right? So this is the part of the podcast where I wanted to hear some of y'all thoughts on submission. And I really want to see y'all feelings on it. Like, seriously. You know, I really would want to see y'all take on it. Because from what I've observed from this beautiful human nature of ours, I might have missed something. Because all humans have a commonality. You know, all humans have feelings and ideas. And we got to be able to what's going on, Regan? Can you hear me, my guy? It's all right then. The reason why I wanted to include people on here because I hear a lot of topics about submission, and it always goes the wrong way. I want to do about it the right way. But I also realize I can't force people. If you're comfortable with just receiving a good word, I'm comfortable with that too. I never said that it was a stance that you had to take. But we also got to remember that, you know, it's not a scary experience when it comes to submission. Submission in itself is a tool, it's a process. And once we understand that process and that tool, we can really break down some ideas and feelings that can elude and do great things, right? Because all I really want to do is be the best version of myself in the relationship I'm in. And when we actually do that, we got to understand that even though we struggle with being human beings, it's only going to get better, right? In conclusion, we as people need to understand that there are qualities that we have that have not been explained far enough. We have skill sets that we have skill processes that can play beneficial to us. And hey, baby girl,
Hey,
what's going on?
at work.
All right, so so tell me, well, what's up with submission? Tell me your ideas on submission.
Um, it's not something that is forced, like you said. Um, that's why I believe in dating first before you get married.
Yeah,
Dating with the intent to get married. If you're just dating for whatever reason with no intent to be married, then submission is not even, a thing. But if you're dating to be married, then of course you need to marry a man that you want to lead your family. So you have to give him that opportunity to be a man, of course, and lead his family. You have to trust in him, and things like that. But also, like I said, my comment earlier about like if that guy, you see him leading you in the wrong direction, things like that, the guy should at least, okay, hey babe, or the wife can come to her husband and say, hey babe, this is how I feel. I don't want the man shouldn't feel like, oh, you can't tell me nothing, it's my way or the highway. They should be in it together.
yeah.
Y'all one. So
Okay.
that's the thing with submission. So it's not about, oh, he's gonna tell me what I need to do and this and that. No, it's different. It's not them telling you what to do, and things like that. It's just the respect thing.
Yeah, and like I said, it's differential respect. Like with me and you have qualities and skill sets that I admire, that I'm willing to submit myself to you. Like, I want to give myself to you because, hey, you excuse my language, you the shit to me. You've done stuff that made me be like, you know what? Yeah. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you, buddy. Yeah. And, it's so simple when you've had the processes of when and want to be submissive. And it's beautiful, And it's so much to gain when you submit to each other, because we win. We win when we submit ourselves properly. Because I totally believe that, you submitted yourself to me at one time, but I was like, well, I want this to be a mutual partnership right now. And you was okay with that. You saw my actions, and I treated it as a mutual partnership until I was willing to give myself and see your redeemable and respectable qualities that you have. I'm like, whoo, shit. Yeah, let me get this one off the market right quick. And so we as people got to make sure that we are involved enough to be submissive. And you've been involved with me every step of the way. And you've given me the lead on some things, and some days I've given you the lead because of your expertise. And that's how it's supposed to work. When it comes to submission, you have to create the level of submission, the level of ideology, the level of feeling that makes submission work for you and your partner. Because every relationship is different. And we can go by if we try to go by the same book, it ain't going to produce the same results for everybody. So you got to understand that there are options that can lead to submission. And it may not, like I said earlier, you can start off as a mutual interest. That's it. And you can stay mutual partners for 25, 30 years. If y'all mutual and y'all giving it to each other, what up, Fitty? When you give into each other, y'all serving each other, eventually somebody's going to get served a little more than they need at the time being. For example, like I see some house husbands who just give to their wife, and their wife give back, and they see, the wife was like, "Oh, I'm willing to take a little more. Oh, you gonna be a homebody? All right, well I'll work." And if that works, yeah, KO, you finally caught one. Took you forever. Been in the group for 19 years, and you finally get in the group. You finally get alive. But yeah, so you want to say something on, huh?
I was going to say, do you think some men that are married are scared of a wife that give submission?
I would.
You're afraid to be in that position?
I wouldn't say fear, but I could say a misunderstanding, because I was at one time scared of a submissive woman, but I use the word scared because I didn't know what a submissive woman was. I had no idea and understanding to what a submissive woman is and what she does. That's their job, huh? And so what you have to understand is that in retrospect, it ain't even a fear, it's just the I don't know portion. I don't know what to do with this. Like when you give a kid cake for them to tear up, what they gonna do? Stare dead at that bad boy. Some men ain't ready for a submissive woman because they don't know what to do with a submissive woman. And so it doesn't create a fear, it just creates hesitance. It can stop a man dead in his tracks. And he'll be like, I don't know what to do with it. Sometimes a person will get blessed too soon with somebody and be like, you got what you asked for, you just don't know how to handle it. And so that takes time. If that person's willing to be a mutual partner until then, that's beautiful. Like with you, like I said, I was nervous. A mutual partnership was what I was seeking, and when you showed me a submissive role, I was hesitant because I'm like, I don't want to lead you anywhere that we both get caught up in some bull. Now I'm like, I'm not gonna lead you anywhere that's gonna get us caught up in some bullshit. If I don't know, we both gonna look at it together. If I do know, guess what? Take your hand and we gonna go there. And if you know, hey, baby, this is the direction we need to go. Together. It ain't no, and it took time for me to get to this position because I had to understand what the hell what does submission mean to me? What do I see in this thing? And you have all the qualities when we first started dating. You got them. Your qualities now have been amplified 100 times over, and it's like, okay, it's been shown over and over again that this is who I need to be with. So now I have to get my act together. She's planning into me to be a better man. So guess what I'm doing? Becoming a better man. So now I got to return the favor and water and plant her and help her become a better woman. So now we're submitted to each other, and now we're thinking alike. Having time. Huh?
I said fill each other's cups, pour into each other.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We pour into each other. We feel each other. When I'm down and you got something, pour into me. When you down and I got something, I'm going to pour into you. I'm not for the... Like this morning, prime example. Our son is 10, but he's growing at a rapid age of 12 or 13. This boy's going out of clothes every 10 minutes. And we swear to God, oh, okay. Listen, KO said something. He said relationships should be a competition to serve each other. Submitting is basically just be agreeable. Men have to submit to God. Sure, you might struggle with something, but by the end of the day, you'll have to submit. I like that. A competition to serve each other. I'm gonna have to make a part 2 of that. Part 2 of submission for real. A competition to serve each other. I bet you I can serve you better. No, I can serve you better. Nah, I'm gonna cater to you, girl. I'm gonna cater the hell out of you, boy. So, so yeah, I like that, KO. I'm gonna have to put you on here the next time I got some time, cause like I said, I try not to keep y'all long. I don't like keeping folk long. The hour of power, a good hour of inspiration. But I thank you, baby, for coming on. I appreciate you. And giving me your thoughts on submission and how it works in our relationship. KO, definitely gonna put you on the show. Really, Regan? And see, exactly. She did. Sometimes we are submissive to people. They're not ready for that. They're not ready for that, Regan. They're not ready for that at all. And some people can't take that because they themselves have not created the standard to being served or being submissive and becoming submissive. So you sit up there and you sit up there and you gave and you show this person this side and they're like, whoa, wait a minute, I'm not used to this. And we have to account experience for that. If they have not had much experience in seeing submissive behaviors, proper submissive behaviors, they don't know what to do with it. Like me, for prime example, I'm 40 and I'm just realizing what real submission is. You hear it through the church and you hear from other guys like, this is what submission is. But being with my girl for 13 years, I know what true submission is. And it's differential respect. You have qualities that I see that I want to respect and I want to give myself to you. And she sees qualities in me that she wants to give herself to me. Like KO just said, it's a competition because now I want to serve you and you want to serve me. And we're going to continue to outserve each other. But some people don't have that sense of service yet. Some people are so more mature at that level. Some people have gotten to the point to where giving is all they know how to do. And they know how to give submissively. And they know how to give friendly. They know how to give out of love. They know how to give out of peace. They know how to give. Some people are natural givers. And they have the fuel to keep giving. So, at the end of the day, we must understand that in any level of submission, biblical, non-biblical, spiritual, non-spiritual, it always starts with a level of respect. If I can't respect you, I don't need to be in a relationship with you. If you can't respect me, let's not be together. If I have qualities and skill sets that don't appeal to you, don't come at me. Baby left me. I'm just playing. But she had to go. She got to get back to work. But at the end of the day, we have to be better and stronger individuals to create a newer version of ourselves daily. Like I said at the beginning, we have to chisel ourselves to become this exclusive work of art, right? But in order to chisel ourselves, we need to understand we got to have the right tools. If we don't have the right tools to chisel ourselves, how can we learn how to submit? And see, what I mean by the right tools, are you properly grooming yourself to be a great person? Are you intact spiritually? Are you intact emotionally? Are you intact physically? Are you intact mentally? You got to go at those levels. You got to chisel away at those levels and become better. You know? So, we as individuals got to understand. I was about to end the show, but my baby hopped on. But now, I've come to this conclusion. We as individuals are beautiful creatures. And submission is a beautiful thing. And you know why? It's an option. Options are beautiful. Because options can be truncated and made into something bigger and better. The interpretation of an option can go either way. Just like KO said, relationships should be a competition to serve each other. I ain't seen it from that angle. It's seen from the same angle of respect. But when we compete with each other in mind, it's still that mutual respect, that differential respect there. That's why you have to treat submission as an option. You have to choose to submit. Non-submission doesn't come with a penalty, but it does come with a growth to the point, if you will, you'll submit. It's been a beautiful Monday. Cloudy as it is. And it has been a great day. Today has been a great podcast. Got a surprise for y'all next week. We're going to talk about some real stuff. But just know I love you guys. You guys are winners in my book. Y'all have a great day.